Welcome to Kodachi for 3, a bi-weekly podcast where 3 friends and passionate players discuss the world of Wraith. If you're looking for flesh and blood content, we've got it. Focusing on competitive play, community building, and yes, going off on plenty of tangents. From our favorite casual builds to the market, nothing is off limits. So sit back, relax, and prepare yourself for Kodachi for 3.
Alright, here we are back with box 2 of this case. So we'll see how this one goes. Now you remember, I feel like box 1 was a little bit lower than average. We did have one cold foil item in there. One extended art majestic in it. So extended art foil majestic is nice. Not going to complain about it. But as a general rule, I feel like the last box is a little low. So see if we can do better this time and go from there. Whoa. Getting crazy with it. This first pack chose itself. It fell out, so. Just get it going. Probably gonna take these faster and faster as I open more and get sad or happy or whatever happens to be to open things. Amulet of Heaven Call. I'm still kind of ambivalent about that. Now, there's a huge glare on these cards right here, but these are just my stack of commons, so don't worry about that too much. If there's something in specific, I guess I can kind of move them out, so I don't have quite as bad of a glare. Is this out there? I know somebody mentioned that in my first stream, is that there's a terrible glare on those, and I do apologize. We'll work on this setup a little bit more as we move forwards. I'll try to do a little bit better about getting those things to you. Now this is nice. This is gonna be one of my early majestic of this particular pack. Beautiful. Drayton would be really stoked about this one, particularly the rainbow foil majestic on that. I'm very happy about it myself, though. Talisman of Tithes. I like the card. Like the art. Very excited about it. Not going to use it a ton. So maybe I should say I like the art. I'm not a Runeblade player. This one I like and would play, but I'm not a Runeblade player as a general rule. This is Drayton's job on the cast. Got some foil silver. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm always on the fence about foil tokens. Now it's a beautiful token. It's a very, very well done token. I just don't know that I really care about having foil tokens. Some people really will, so I'll probably get that one traded away at some point. And then we did have hit another majestic already. We get the majestic battering bolt here. This is really great. Discard all cards other than action cards. This could be a huge deal against some particular decks. So I do like that card. I think it's going to see a lot of play. I haven't pulled a single try shot yet, and I think that's going to be very key for Ranger going forward. So I'm really hoping to see some of those. I'm not sure. I think that, well, at least not Azalea. Azalea is not going to be catapulted into tier 1 here. Let's be honest. But I do think Lexi's going to see a lot of play still, and it's going to be a fairly high tier hero. Let's get that foil. Is that my first common foil? Oh yeah, that's a excellent sign actually. Been sitting here thinking like about what's going on, and then we actually only have one common foil in four packs. Depends. The token is still a common foil, but I feel like it's a unique common foil, and I do rate it higher or as more valuable than just a general common foil. Even though, like I said, I'm not that excited about the foil tokens, you at least leave them out, and so I think people are a little bit more excited about having them out on board. I know some people who only foil like the on board, the visible stuff, don't really care about foiling out their deck. It's not the case for everybody, of course, but it's definitely the case sometimes. Okay, that's Talisman of Warfare coming up here. Got a Breaking Tide, so I think this is actually a really nice combo finisher for the Rushing River line. It's one that definitely needed a little bit more. And it's got a 3 block here, comes in 0. Solid plus and dominate, +3 and dominate on it. It's a very, very nice card. Actually, I think Ninja got some good support in this set. Binji in particular, like that card is excellent in Binji, but it's also just good overall for Ninja, so you see a lot of play. Common foil. Actually ended up pausing because we have the cold foil here, so that's what I was looking at. Cold foil Talisman of Creation. Just a generic rare. Let's go ahead and pop this cold foil off to the side and start to move this box further and further out of the way. Track this Glint playmat down. I'm very excited to have it both in general and to have it on stream. Again, I've mentioned several times at this point, the Warrior is one of my favorite classes, and having it has been something I've been really trying to track down for a long time. So very, very happy to see that come home. Playmats in this game hold value so well, and that's both a blessing and a curse for me, as I do like to collect things. And playmats weren't typically something that I was excited about. Oh, I almost got excited there. Not about that card, but this one. So I am really looking for the full art version of this. Arcane Lantern I think is wonderful art, but having that cold foil full art version is something I really do care about. I don't think it'll see a lot of play, but it's something I really care about having a copy of. So very much hoping we see one of those here on stream pop out. Come out to play Arcane Lantern. Ugh. Spectral Shield. I'll take a foil Spectral Shield, I guess, at some point. I'm not gonna write home about it, but I'll take it. Let's get several packs out at once here. Let's set them on deck. So out of curiosity, if you're watching, if you stuck with me for this long, especially if this is your second video, is this the kind of thing you want to see every so often? We're going to put some gameplay videos out as well, so don't worry about that, especially with the testing process coming up for ProQuest. Drake and I are going to be hammering out a lot of games, getting a lot more practice in. Also a local friend, Ian Schaefer, is going to probably be doing some practice with us, so we may be streaming some of those. And then as we talk about why those games are important to us, why those matchups are important to us, why that practice is important to us, instead of just streaming them, we might actually put them on an overlay like this, and then do some back-end recording where we actually talk about the game, where we talk about what we had in hand at any given time, and why we made the decisions we did. And kind of going back and forth and saying, like, hey, as an opponent, did we feel like that was the correct decision? Do we feel like that was a poor decision, and why? So hopefully people will find that useful. We really do want to ramp up our visual presence, and so box breaks were a first kind of easy thing to do for us, easy thing to get out there. I'm going to be doing it anyway. I like to hear myself talk some days. Well, I actually don't like listening to myself back talk, but I don't mind doing it. It kind of makes the time pass as I open a little bit more. I'm excited about the Rainbow Foil Majestics. It's hard not to be excited about a Rainbow Foil Majestic in my mind, even when they're not for a class I play. Though I do feel like Brute is positioned in a great place, and have actually been playing a fair amount of Rhinar in my testing. I feel like Rhinar does have a fairly favorable matchup into Prism currently. We'll see once that kind of aggro version comes out. That's able to generate tokens and shields and things like that, even when it is attacking and having its stuff popped. So I'm not certain if I think that's going to shift Brute back out of it again, but I do feel like Brute is in a better place than people give it credit for. I think this might be one of those seasons you just see quite a few Brutes out there. Now, I was disappointed a lot of their new cards are random. That take dice rolls, but from a meta perspective, they're in a good place, even if I'm not excited about all the new cards for them. rare foil. Couple life of the party's out. Oh, there's me, another Majestic, the Miraging Metamorph. This actually is... that's one of the ones I was just talking about, actually. When Miraging Metamorph is destroyed, create a token that's a copy of an aura you control. So, very cool. Very, very solid effect. I like that we're finally into the point that, like, in the past, with a Prism matchup, if you can break one of their attacks, you do. There's no reason not to. You break their attack, you try to break one of their attacks. This, it at least has that, do I really want to? Is there a scenario in which I wouldn't want to do so? I think the answer is yes, and in a lot of cases where you'll want to go ahead and not break that Phantasm attack. You're not going to want to shatter it. Not necessarily that you want to let all the damage go through, right? But that you definitely want to. This is a very, what's that famous painting? It's a little maybe on the nose, but it's interesting art. All right. Oop, there's a blood on our hands. When I was playing in the first Blitz skirmish season, played a ton of Kasai. She was maybe one of my first loves before I started selling out and playing more Dorinthia. So I'm excited to see this card. I actually have it in Rainbow Foil as well, but honestly, it doesn't read in Rainbow Foil. Like it doesn't look good. The card's too dark and muddy, and so as a Rainbow Foil, it doesn't come across. So that's something I'm very, very sad about. But there's not much you can do about that. Should get those separated back out the way I want. I do have 3 copies of that card now, so it does become a little sadder to see. And you could make the case that, you know, I'm not as much of a Blitz player, definitely more than Drayton, but I don't play as much Blitz, and so sometimes those young hero-only specializations are not as exciting when I'm not certain that they're going to be bringing me a big version. Oof. Ooh. This is... I can't decide if I feel like this is spicy or not. So I've got the Cold Full Kraken's Aether Vein here. I'm always excited to see Majestic Cold Foils. That being said, currently this once per turn instant feels utterly useless to me. So it's great, deal 1 arcane damage to an opposing hero, draw a card for every arcane damage dealt this way. I just personally do not see this being useful unless there's a way to buff this damage, and right now I can't think of one. And so, great, yes, we have that effect. It's a good effect, but until there's a way to get multiple damage off here, I don't think that's the case yet. I'm not excited about the card. But I'm excited to pull it. Cold Foil Majestic. Always excited for that. Not going to complain. Keep going, see if we can get something even better here. We can just go ahead and draw that Fable again. Oh, yay, Rune Chant. Quickly throw it off to the side. Just a couple normal rares. No big deal. I mentioned this in video 1, but if you're only here for the first one, these paper packs it's kind of a pleasure to open comparatively. Not seeing a lot of damage to the cards. You kind of see the corners and everything here. I'm not saying it's better than the foil packs for reducing damage, because that's not the case. But it doesn't seem to be worse in any way, shape, or form. I haven't tried to tamper with them. I feel like I'm not the kind of guy who, well, I mean, I wouldn't, and so spending the effort into figuring out how easily they could be tampered with, that's not worth my time. But it doesn't really seem to be the case that we could do anything. We did actually weigh some packages locally to see if I felt like there was a discernible way to say, like, hey, there's a cold foil in that, or there's a whatever in that. It doesn't seem to be the case for this. Again, since I wouldn't really do that, it might not be that scientific. We only did it with a couple cases, but we didn't, like, pack weight was up and down enough that it didn't really seem to be an indicator in my mind. Let's see. Yeah, Payload is a very pretty foil. Another rare. Here's another Majestic that I'm not super familiar with. Okay, yeah. I remember this during spoiler season. We've talked about this quite a bit. Dissolution Sphere. I mean, it's only really good against a couple of the go wide, unless there's a good way to add steam counters to this, and I'm not really sure that that's the case right now. But they're building in a lot of like build space for future sets, for overall mechanics in the game, and I think that's good. One of the warrior cards mentions a dagger, and there's not a warrior dagger that exists today, so I'm definitely going to be excited to see that. Hoping that means we're getting a warrior with a dagger in the next set, or a warrior's dagger in the next set. It's the rare foil here. Rare imposing visage. Love the artwork on this. I'd love that as a playmat. It's simple, it's clean, it's got one big old focused area. Search deck with an aura, put it in the arena, then shuffle it, go again. Solid effect. It's very expensive though, X+3, or X3. It's a lot. But it blocks for 3, very cool card. This pack's looking up a little bit with the cold, or the not pack, the box is looking up a little bit with the cold form majestic. Still not near as good as that first case. We have full time twisters here, twin twisters, not time. Fire breathing, another majestic, gorgeous card. Would love to see this one in foil. I haven't seen a fire breathing foil yet. Same thing for haze bending. I think they would both be great foils. The way they do their foils, I think they're prime targets. Is not currently the case, but they are prime targets, things that I would want to see in foil. Things that I think strongly benefit from being foil, of course. Steadfast, it's not the worst foil. It's very, very subdued, but not the worst foil. A potion of seeing and a passing mirage. I'm gonna finish this this box off with a pretty lackluster pack, but nothing too bad here. See what we ended up with: one foil token, one cold foil majestic in the Kraken's Aether Vein that we talked about for a little bit here, one cold foil Talisman of Cremation, and then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 normal majestics and 2 rainbow foil majestics. No extended art. So 9 total, 10 total majestics there if you count the cold foil. That's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. We'll take that there. Still no legendary out of this case, and so I'd really like to see some of that. I actually don't have any legendaries so far, so that's been kind of a bummer. I'm gonna have the one fabled, so it's gonna be kind of hard for people to feel sorry for me, I think. But still, anyway, thanks for watching, and good luck with your own pulls. I'll be back for box 3 later.
Thanks for listening and being a part of the Flesh and Blood community. If you enjoyed this podcast and want to hear more, please share us, leave us a like or a review. If you want to engage with us directly, please find us on Facebook at Kodachi43. And remember, we are available for download on all major podcast providers. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. Until then, enjoy playing Flesh and Blood.